Woo! Good evening, my friends. It's a late night. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a hopefully a fun night. I didn't realize how tired I was when I set up this live, but because like I napped today, man, I feel really relaxed this weekend. Because like Alan Jackson just left us on a good note, didn't he? I mean, let's just keep it real. Like let's talk about how Alan Jackson just fucking killed it. I was just in Aiden's chat and watching a little bit of Jen McCabe's testimony. Man, that shit is infuriating when you hear her, but Jackson wasn't putting up with it, man. It was beautiful. Jackson's like, and she slipped, man. Like she was heated. She slipped twice. She slipped when she said that oh fuck, man, I'm already forgetting. She slipped when she said I knew John had never gone in the house. How do you know that John had never gone in the house if you never spoke to your sister at 507, right? How do you know that he never went into the house? So there's that. Because I mean, at any given time, he could have gone into the house. You know what I'm saying? Like any time between when Karen left and when they went looking for him, because she didn't know what happened to him yet, right? So there's that. And then she slipped when she said that she knew that Karen hit him because there was pieces of taillight next to John. Because she did CPR on him, but there was pieces of taillight just the CERT team didn't find any pieces of taillight until like after 6 p.m. I mean, like 12 hours later. It's like 12 hours before they found pieces of taillight. So, I don't know if the defense can call her back to the stand. I hope they can. Because that shit is really incriminating. That's super incriminating. I mean, combined with all the other shit she was doing, it's super incriminating. So tonight we're just gonna chill. I don't really expect a whole bunch of people in here. I'm not really gonna go over anything that's like, pressing or vital. You know what I mean? Like this is just Saturday night, late night hangout, man. That's it. If I'm feeling up to it, I'm gonna open the phone lines. I know I put it in the title, but I might renege on that. But I don't know. I don't think I will. I'm sure I probably still will. I don't know. What's up, Scott McGinnis? So yeah, I'm glad y'all are here, man. Yeah. Turtle Boy was on just now. What's up, Trial Channel? So speaking of Turtle Boy, I want to go over I'm just gonna watch some videos that like I've been meaning to watch. So might as well watch them with you.
Mr. Kenny, please stand up. You're walking on kind of thin ice. I'm going to review everything and I'll come out with an order. But I take what Mr. Cosgrove has presented very seriously. I also take into account that there are certain First Amendment rights here as well. And then the issue is always how far does the First Amendment take you and when does it become intimidation of a witness? The word revenge, some of those other words that are on that tape are getting very, very close. So I'll take it all under advisement. Let me just see the lawyers.
See, that's the problem. See, the thing is I actually like this judge. I do like this judge. Okay. But the issue that I'm having is that he's trying too hard to be impartial. I think he's more focused on being impartial than he is about just looking at what it is, if that makes any sense. Because it's like he's like, oh, the word revenge. Okay, what about the word revenge? The word revenge, that's your problem if you took that shit that way, because he wasn't threatening that he was going to take revenge. He was saying that Jesus told him, he's a satirist. He doesn't think that Jesus told him anything. No sane person really says that. Only a televangelist.
Visit South Africa.
Okay, that's Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtle Boy, the man who's really behind the Free Karen Reed movement. It was him.
Now, that's a big deal right there, okay? Because so far, Court TV, this is a step, because since since Vinnie Politan had Turtle Boy on, which was like almost 2 years ago, the last time I saw Turtle Boy on Court TV. That was the last time they even really mentioned him. Like, they would mention, well, Turtle Boy had court, and that was it. Turtle Boy had court today. This blogger, that's what they'd always do. The blogger. And so now that it is, I mean, blindly obvious that Karen Reed is innocent, now Vinnie Politan goes over Turtle Boy's hearing and talks about it and introduces the subject, and by describing Turtle Boy as the man behind the Karen Reed movement, which is great. That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. I mean, that's a fact. The fact is that Turtle Boy did light the spark that got this public attention that it's getting. And the fact that he has as many viewers as he has proves that he's maintaining that attention. So at this point, it's fair to say that Aidan Kearney, aka Turtle Boy, is a force to be reckoned with. He just is. That's where we are. And I love talking about it, because mostly I know it just pisses off the people who hate him. Like, it's really what I do. Like, everything that I'm saying is facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I'm saying is facts. But most of the reason why I feel like talking about it so much is because I know that, like, there's just this hatred for him, dude, that I find to be a psychological phenomenon. I do. I'm not even trying to lie. I find it to be a psychological phenomenon. I think it's fascinating that people want to see this guy go down just because he's telling the truth and he's shining a light on the truth. I think that's fascinating. Like, it's not that fascinating that the cops are doing it, believe it or not. Like, to me, like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Tully has a hard on for Turtle Boy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised that this shit is just going on in the United States of America. Yeah. But it's what fascinates me are the people who are on X and Facebook and just can't stand him and want to see him go to prison, and he hasn't even done anything. And it's so funny to see him get under people's skin who don't even, like, aren't even affected in any way. Nobody's affected except shitty people. That's what's really funny. Everybody who I've ever seen that was like that like hates Turtle Boy is a shitty, fucked up person. And all it does is just makes me think, like, okay, well, yeah, like, they hate him even that much more because he's right about them. You know what I mean? Thank you, Carla, for becoming a member. Yeah, it's just mind-blowing.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Turtle, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's.
It was him who sort of got everyone together, informed everyone about things he was finding in the paper, in the court papers, and really started this movement. And he's being prosecuted for witness intimidation. Those are the allegations. He was in court because prosecutors want to revoke his bond. They're saying that he is violating the conditions of that by threatening.
You know how dope this is? You know how dope this is? This is so dope because now it's now that the majority of people, because Court TV's even putting up polls asking Karen Reed, is Karen Reed innocent, framed, right? Like, I think it was like 65% that said innocent, framed. And then there was like 2 or 3 other choices. So the majority of people like are seeing that there's some fucking nefarious shit going on in that neighborhood. And at this point, you bring in Turtle Boy, this factor, to the people who are just paying attention to the trial. They don't even know who the fuck Turtle Boy is, right? I mean, a lot of people do, but I'm saying there's going to be those people that just don't even know who the fuck he is. And then now they're going to go, wait a second. This guy, he's getting charged for talking about the Karen Reed case. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to make those people that much more go, okay, yeah, this is definitely some dirty shit going on here. Because honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons. I had just talked to Turtle Boy for the first time when he got charged. Just talked to him. A lot of you guys already know this. But I had just talked to Turtle Boy for the first time like 2 or 3 days before he got charged. I wasn't so invested yet. But the coincidence, the timing, not because he was on my show, I'm saying the timing of where the case was and then him getting arrested and what he was known for, I was like, okay, now I need to see. And so that was really the majority of the reason why I went over all of his charges, because when I went over all of his charges, what I was trying to do is see how bullshit they were and see if that was going to be a reflection more on Karen Reed's possible innocence, right? That's how I looked at it. So, of course, that absolutely fed into my opinion forming on Karen Reed's innocence. I always stayed open to both possibilities, but I could not help but go over every detail of this case and I couldn't help but be shocked at almost every detail of the case. Every report I read, I found something that was just super bad, super wrong.
One of the investigators in the case, Tully. So I want to play for you some of what prosecutors said today during this hearing and some of what the defense said during this hearing, and then we'll talk.
See, this is great because Court TV doing this absolutely implies that there is a conspiracy. Because why would you charge Turtle Boy if you weren't trying to intimidate him to stop talking? There's no other reason, especially when you're falsely charging him. And especially when it's, as I said, glaringly obvious blindly obvious that Karen Reed is being railroaded. And some of the same investigators in the Karen Reed case are charging Turtle Boy, and he lives in a completely different town. He doesn't even live in Norfolk County. Okay. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
Talk about it.
No contact, direct or indirect, through third parties with any of the witnesses or victims in this case. And 2, stay 100 yards away from any victim's residence.
All right, so yes. Yes. Plans have been made. I will be heading up to Boston soon. And I will be bringing a guest with me. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I think you guys are going to be really excited about it. So, but yes, yes, these plans have been designed and will soon be executed.
Or place of work, defendant to sense bail warning read. What we have here, Your Honor, is the most extreme recent example of Mr. Kearney's behavior. And if I wanted to bring these to the court's attention, I could probably do it about 4 times a week. Constant defamation, for example, of Jennifer McCabe as a murderer.
Look at Aiden.
Defamation, for example.
Look at Aiden right here. Watch him right here.
Example of Jennifer McCabe as a murderer, and he has described the others as murderers.
Dude, and this dude, man, Cosgrove, it's fucking painful to listen to this guy. Aurora. Only 11 p.m. here in Wyoming. So glad to caught you live. I bet it's beautiful there in Wyoming. I've never been.
And in general, he is aware and has remarked, I think this is another thing I brought to Your Honor's attention the last time.
You'd think this guy would find his time to be more valuable, considering he clearly has so little left on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. You gotta have better things to do in your twilight years, dude. You've got to have better things to do. This is fucking painful, dude. Like, I feel like he's just gonna fucking keel over any second. And it's not, I would take no pleasure in that. That's my point, is I don't think it's fair for him to subject the rest of us to the possibility of watching an old man die right there in front of everybody. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right. I think it's bullshit. As a matter of fact, I think it's selfish as fuck. I think it's elderly abuse on Michael Morrissey's part. I think it's just a whole fucked up situation with Cosgrove sitting up there and then getting fucking Bradel to the point to where Bradel has to give the most passionate fucking arguments on free speech that he's probably ever given. You know, I mean, dude, Cosgrove, dude, just, bro, like, I know you got a fucking easy chair that you've had for like the last 50 fucking years, dude. I know you do. I guarantee you do, bro. Just fucking kick that fucker back. Drink a couple of PBRs, maybe some Strohs. Fucking tab tops that you fucking pull all the way off. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Fucking get your rabbit ears all fucking set up. Watch some fucking ABC Wide World of Sports. Come on, Cosgrove. You got to be wanting to live the life, dude.
Has remarked with satisfaction that the results of his broadcasts have made it difficult for these people to go out in public without being harassed.
Mr. Bradle, tell me about that word revenge and how am I supposed to interpret that?
Judge, this is not a threat. This is not contact. This is satire. This is all protected.
Satire.
I am so sick of having to come before a court because of Norfolk County and talk about speech that Norfolk County
Argue to
doesn't
me,
like.
not to anybody else. Just tell me about that word revenge.
Why do we keep having to come back here? I don't know what it must be like to wake up on the wrong side of the First Amendment every day. This is
right there, bro. And Aiden pointed this out in his live earlier. I don't know what it's like to wake up on the wrong side of the First Amendment every day. And you know what makes that line so good, besides the fact that it's worded so fucking beautifully, is that he fucking means it. That's what makes it so dope. I talked to this guy. I'm telling you, this guy is in love with his right to free speech and your right to free speech. He has a love affair with it. There is no doubt about it.
Is protected speech, Your Honor, over and over again. The Supreme Court has spoken for decades and decades. Brandenburg, Watts, Chaplinsky, O'Brien v. Borowski, Welch. Judge, this is a waste of this court's time. This is intentional infliction of emotional distress on my client. He is not contacting a witness. He is not threatening a witness. He is talking about someone who has...
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare
You. Mike S., thank you so much. Cosgrove already makes $200K in pension from Massachusetts taxpayers. He's a triple dipping leech. That's how it's done in Massachusetts. I mean, dude, that's crazy. What a waste. What a fucking waste. Think about that shit, dude. This guy's already getting fucking $200K a year. You know what I'm saying? He's already getting $200K a year to not do jack shit anymore. And here he is still working. And unethically, like just trying to, like he's spending his fucking twilight years, his retirement, trying to fuck somebody out of their fucking freedom of speech. How the fuck? Dude, that guy, dude, I'm sorry, dude. Like, Cosgrove, man, that sucks because you know why? It's that much more worse if we're subjected to the gruesome sight of him fucking just keeling over right there in front of the whole fucking world during one of these hearings, dude. You know, like how fucking shitty that is, because not only are we seeing this motherfucker keel over, but we're seeing him keel over and then go straight to hell, because nobody's going to heaven who does this shit. You're spending your fucking retirement. You're already getting $200K a year from Massachusetts taxpayers, and you're fucking spending more of their taxpayer money to railroad somebody and take away his freedom of speech while endangering the taxpayers' freedom of speech that is supporting you doing this, that is paying you to do this. That is disgusting. That is why there's no way that Cosgrove is going to stand in front of fucking St. Peter and St. Peter's going to go, what's the meaning of life? Like in Bill and Ted, right? And Cosgrove is going to be like, the meaning of life, well, Peter's gonna go, and then he's gonna fucking drop. Cosgrove's gonna be going, falling forever, playing 20 questions with himself. Are you a tank? Jesus, dude, this guy, he's going straight to hell for this shit. This is disgusting what he's doing.
Who has destroyed his life, Your Honor, he is allowed to lash out back.
Yeah.
And the First Amendment grants every declarant this room to talk without fear, without the kind of fear that this county has inflicted on Mr. Carney over and over and over again.
Okay, so if he's wishing,
I love these guys.
wishing something to happen to Tully, the investigator who's gone after him, is that a violation of his conditions of bond? Is that witness intimidation? Is that contacting a witness? What is it? Is it someone expressing their desires for what they hope would happen?
This gentleman is one of the best anti-heroes for civil rights and civil liberties that I can imagine. He is a disaster that is standing on the thin one leg that Mr. Bradle is talking about, freedom of speech, because the judge has got him. He is saying things that clearly and unabashedly violate the terms of his bond conditions.
What do you mean?
He is saying things that he knows or should know are going to induce the prohibited contact and conduct from his third-party listeners. Now, he gets to hide behind the First Amendment beautifully. He toes the line.
So you're saying he's inciting violence?
Now, what this guy's saying is true. Now, I don't agree with where it's coming from, but what he's saying is true. Because here's the thing, is he violating the terms of his bond or his bail? Is he violating the judge's order? Technically, sure. Is he breaking the law that chapter 28, 13A, 13B? Arguably. But the problem with that is I don't agree with him when he says he's hiding behind the First Amendment. You don't hide behind the First Amendment. You just exercise your First Amendment rights. This isn't a question of, oh, I'm going to harass people and hide behind the First Amendment when I do it. That's not what Turtle Boy's doing. What Turtle Boy's doing is simply exercising his freedom of speech. And then when people tried to shut him up, he goes, fuck you, I have freedom of speech. No. That's very, very different than hiding behind the First Amendment. That is extremely different than hiding behind the First Amendment.
Violence?
There's an interesting compromise. You don't get mad, you get even. If I were on the bench, I would not revoke his bond because that's subject to being appealed. What I would do is I'd find him in contempt and incarcerate him because he's in contempt of my court order. Don't get mad, get even.
No, but I think what happened is that he reset the court hearing for June. And so he just kind of put him out there and let him hang himself because he's going to continue to say things.
Right, but let's just go back historically. All those Supreme Court cases he's throwing out there, some of them involve speech that we don't like.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
It's like the KKK.
The content.
Right?
Correct.
And we cannot restrain citizens from speaking their thoughts, their opinions. If he's defaming someone, that's not even criminal.
Right. That's a civil issue. Johnny O, thank you so much. Turtle Boy's being targeted because the feds aren't investigating his opposition. Aiden needs to realize they're not on his side. The Commonwealth's cracking down because it can. That's fucking not true. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it, but you're fucking wrong. Turtle Boy's being targeted because the feds are investigating his opposition. Aiden needs to Aiden has nothing to do with the feds. The feds have nothing to do with Aiden. The feds don't give a fuck about Aiden, dude. The feds could give a fuck about Aiden. Why would the feds give a fuck about Aiden, dude? Like, he's not being charged federally. It's the very opposition that's charging him. If anything, he's giving the feds more evidence of corruption. What are you talking about, Johnny O? Aiden's not counting on the feds to be on his side. Aiden's counting on us to be on his side. Aiden's counting on the people. He's counting on the law to be on his side. He's not counting on the feds. What's up, Mizzy? Good to see you.
The person he's defaming can take him to court and sue him civilly.
And exactly, you have the right to say lots of things, but you're also still accountable for the impact of your words. So you can have a freedom of speech that has been limited by another order.
Okay, wait.
Intimidation.
But now think about it this way. All these people that say all these bad things about our president, and then someone tries to take out the president. Are you going to bring those people in too?
Lots
You
of people
can.
are trying, and you
Yeah,
can.
yes.
You
okay.
really?
You're
It's
inciting
here.
violence.
I haven't seen it.
It's here.
I haven't seen it.
It's here and now. It's intimidation. Whether or not
Wait. Who's he intimidating?
he's intimidating the detective.
When you watch the entirety of that hearing, you'll see that Mr. Bradel.
He's intimidating the detective, dude. What? First of all, let me make it abundantly clear that this guy with the blue jacket on, I can't fucking stand. I've never liked that guy. I think he fucking sucks. And I've seen this guy like every time. It's like his job is just to be a douchebag. And the guy on the far left, I like him sometimes. Same with Vinny. Vinny, I always like. He just pisses me off a lot. But I like Vinny. I can't help it. But he just pisses me off a lot. But this guy on the left, on the far left, I can't get a fucking read on him. You know? I mean, sometimes he says great shit. Other times I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are you even talking about, dude?
Artfully acknowledges the fighting words that Turtle Boy specifically avoids. Turtle Boy is not dumb.
No, he was a teacher.
He's absolutely not dumb. He knows the line. He's researched the line. He's been told about the line. If he steps into certain words, such as those statutorily or
well, yeah. Belza Resende, they kept sending him super chats tonight, trying to get to him, trying to get to read threats to Jen. I have really bad feeling. I mean, the thing is that could easily be proven. You know what I mean? Like, all you got to do is play the clip from fucking Anchorman where they pranked Ron Burgundy with fucking or they accidentally put a goddamn question mark on the thing, or no, they put to prank him, they put "go fuck yourself, San Diego," and he read it out loud and then got fired. I mean, but that's not his fault. He's not going to go to jail because someone sent him that and then he read it out loud and it's somebody else's words. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing. I mean, the thing is Turtle Boy's worried, and rightfully so. Turtle Boy's worried, but it doesn't do him any good for us to be worried. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing you can do is just keep supporting him, you know, keep showing up to his streams, you know, keep hashtagging Free Turtle Boy, shit like that. I mean, and just be supportive. That's all you can really do. But it doesn't do him any good to worry about him. You know, he's already worried, and he's, you know, fighting through and still doing what he does. You know what I mean? And like I said many times, if he were to just be like, you know what, I'm chilling out, I'm done. Okay. I wouldn't think even the slightest bit less of him if he decided to do that, simply because I mean, look at everything he's already done. You know what I mean? Like, look at the noise that the Karen Reed case is making now. All that support that's always been there for Karen Reed is because of him. All the original support for Karen Reed is because of him. So, I mean, anybody who tries to say, oh, no, Turtle Boy, you know, he's quitting on us, or he's a coward, or whatever the fuck, you're just a fucking moron. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And it sure doesn't fucking even seem like he's going to do it. So, you know what I mean? Like, the best thing you could do for him is just support him. That's it.
Or common law defined as fighting words, totally different thing. He hasn't gone there. He said revenge, which is, as the judge noted, real close.
And the type of speech we're talking about here, in which has become sort of the foundation of what Turtle Boy and the Free Karen Reed movement is, they believe the government has overstepped their bounds.
Absolutely.
They believe the government is not acting lawfully. So isn't the government skating on thin ice when they're being accused of wrongfully prosecuting someone, and then they're trying to shut down the people who are saying it out loud, and the people who are protesting?
Are we going to talk about prosecutorial immunity? Because you can't sue them for basically anything.
Right.
It's, as I said, don't get mad, get even. The government has got to produce the evidence. The government is going to go after who they believe is wrong. Now, can they be stopped?
See, now, I am happy that they're talking about the issue of free speech, because that is the biggest issue here. Make no mistake about that. That is the biggest issue here, is that Turtle Boy's freedom of speech is the issue. And if Turtle Boy's freedom of speech is the issue, all of our freedom of speech is the issue. So I like that that's happening, but the way they're talking now is like, oh, they need to bring the evidence and blah, 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 blah. Like, the problem with that is there is no evidence that Turtle Boy has done anything to anybody. Oh, shit. What's up, Bob? Defense Diaries podcast in the house, y'all. Bob Mata, the legendary. So yeah, to me, you know, yeah, the whole First Amendment thing is the biggest issue, and I'm glad they're talking about it. But you know, I'd like to see them talk more about the evidence that Aiden has now. And I understand them trying to avoid the whole, you know, girlfriend setting him up, faking a pregnancy, blah, 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 blah. I'm not talking about getting into all that, but at least discuss the fact that Mark Betterow is representing him, as well as Tim Bradel. Mark Betterow has been putting out these Betterow letters, sending them that there's you know, claims from Turtle Boy's defense team that they can prove collusion with the Norfolk County DA's office, the Massachusetts State Police, and others without having to name anybody. They don't have to do that. They just mention those things that Turtle Boy believes he can prove this. Mention those things. Mention that they're claiming that they're going to call Ken Mello to the stand when this goes to trial. Because the fact is, if Court TV doesn't cover the Turtle Boy trial, for lack of a better term, a spin-off from the Karen Reed trial, they are dropping the ball. Court TV is slipping, because the shit that's going to come out in that trial is going to be outrageous.
Stopped, perhaps, but I think the judge is in a position where the detective has got to be protected as well. And he's being intimidated by Turtle Boy because Turtle Boy is not talking to him. He's talking to the entire audience that he hopes is larger than life.
Which is inciting things. And we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but I have a suspicion as the Karen retrial goes on, more stuff's going to occur. Mark my words.
And when they get a free swing at Mr. Turtle Boy, I don't know a judge in the nation that wouldn't swing for beyond the fences.
Right. All right.
Yogi Bear said, and ain't over till
Thank
it's
you
over.
so much, Daryl
Well done.
Cohen, Meg Strickler, Josh Schiff.
Oh, shut up. All right, let's check this out.
Canton Police Department through Kevin Alberts. There's also a connection to Canton Police Department through Kevin Alberts. Is that right? Object.
Can you answer that? Is there a connection? Do you have a connection with the Canton Police Department through Kevin Albert?
Not with the police department, but Kevin Albert is Brian Albert's brother.
Right. And Kevin works for whom?
Canton Police.
Thank you. So you've been interviewed many times by
3 days of that
different
bullshit
law
right
enforcement
there.
agencies, be they Massachusetts State Police, Canton Police, or otherwise, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Those interviews have not just been over the period of weeks, it's been over the period of weeks and months and even years since this occurred, correct?
Yes.
You were contacted by another law enforcement agency that was not Massachusetts State Police and not Canton Police Department at one point in April of 2023. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I want to talk for a second about that series of interview or that interview. You were contacted at your residence by these members of this law enforcement agency, correct?
Yes.
All right. Later that same day, you did sit down with those same law enforcement officers for a formal interview.
On that
same day that you were contacted by them, they also went into your home and actually interviewed you, correct?
Yes, it was brief.
All right. Those law enforcement officers identified themselves as being associated with an agency that is not Massachusetts State Police. You understood that.
Yes.
And you understood that they were not involved with Canton Police Department either, correct?
Correct.
Completely separate agency. Is that right?
Yes.
During the course of that interview, those officers informed you very specifically, Ms. McCabe, that it is a crime to lie to them, even during an interview, correct?
Yes.
Those law enforcement officers informed you that they were investigating certain circumstances attendant to John O'Keefe's death, correct?
They were very vague on what they were.
Understood.
I don't know what they were investigating.
But you did understand that it was having something to do with your involvement at 34 Fairview on January 28th, 29th, 2022. As a witness or otherwise?
Sustained as to certain terminologies.
Sure. Let's see if I can rephrase that. Ms. McCabe, you were aware of the subject matter of their interview, right? They weren't interviewing about a car you bought last year, correct?
Correct.
They were interviewing you about, basically, about what you're testifying to here, correct?
When I first spoke with them, the conversation was pretty vague.
But the subject matter, vague or specific, was about this subject matter.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. They first contacted you telephonically, called you on the phone. Is that right?
Actually, they walked up to my car.
They walked up to your car?
Yes.
Okay, that was the very first introduction, correct?
Yes.
At that point, they had not identified themselves, correct?
They didn't know.
All right, and at that point, you told them that you were not Jennifer McCabe. They asked you who you were, and you said, I'm Nicole.
I thought they were like selling something, so I was like, oh no, I'm not the homeowner.
Fair enough, fair enough. However, after you said, I'm not Jennifer McCabe, you walked into the house, they then called you on the phone.
Yes,
They were
correct.
still sitting outside your house.
I don't know where they were, but they did call me.
They were close by.
I'm not aware.
Well, the call came almost immediately after you walked back in the house, correct?
I'm not sure how much time had passed.
Give me an idea. It wasn't an hour. It was
No, it was
5 to 10
soon
minutes.
after. I'm just not sure. I can't tell you where they were located. I'm sorry.
Okay. They told you that they would, at that point, they identified themselves as being law enforcement agents, correct?
When they called me, yes.
And they told you at that time that they were not with Canton Police. You knew at least they were not with Canton Police Department. They were not troopers with Massachusetts State Police, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And they told you that they would like to have an interview with you. They'd like to have a sit-down talk with you, correct?
Yes.
You told them that you would be willing to submit to an interview, but you needed about 10 minutes to get ready, correct?
Yes.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, dude.
You ultimately did allow them
I'm dying for
into your home, and you did.
I wonder if that's ever happened. Bob Mata, has that ever happened, like in court that you know of? Like, I'm like, just please, like, please, dear sweet baby Jesus, let me cover a trial one day where one of the witnesses has real bad IBS and shits themselves on the stand. Please, dear sweet baby Jesus, I don't ask for much. Amen. Just once. I would love that shit. I just, come on.
With them, correct?
Yes, brief, but yes.
And it was during that formal interview inside the home that it was explained to you that it would be a crime for you to lie to
What
them
did Bob say? Hold on.
any material issue, correct?
Yes.
During the course of your interview, your husband, Matt McCabe, came home. Is that right?
Yes.
As these law enforcement agents continue to question you, as law enforcement officers continue to question you at some point, you inform them that you did not feel comfortable with any further questioning and you suspended the interview, correct?
Yes.
Before leaving, however, those same law enforcement officers asked you if you had contacted anyone in those 10 minutes. You indicated, I need 10 minutes.
Oh my
to get
God.
ready."
That's why I
Between
like
the
doing
time
these
they
late
called
night
you
streams.
and the time that they showed up.
Everybody's all
inside your
punchy.
house, correct?
Yes.
You told them that you had contacted your husband, Matt McCabe,
Yes.
which is why he came home, right?
Yes.
And you told them that you had called Carrie Roberts before they interviewed you, correct? At that moment.
I'm not 100% sure, but if you have it, I'll. It seems like something I would do, but if you have it, it could show me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Happy to do it. Hold on 1 second. I got you.
I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
Shoot. Fucking shoot. 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 Fucking shoot.
May I approach briefly?
Yes.
First, I'm going to ask you, Ms. McCabe, if you recognize that as being a report of that interview, just general. Yes or no?
It appears to be, yes.
Is that it? Okay. Hold on. All right. Now we're getting into the good shit. I'm Vinny Politan.
I'm Vinny Politan, the subject of my investigation, the tragic death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe, who was either killed.
Oh, Vinny, what the fuck, man? Vinny's got a blue shirt on. That's it. Vinny's flipped. Fuck. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I don't know what I'm going to do. Fucking turncoat.
Killed by his girlfriend or by fellow police officers. That's what this trial is about. But there's a lot more going on inside the courtroom, and a lot of it is kind of personal. Here's the story.
Yes,
On a bitter January morning in 2022, Boston police officer John O'Keefe was found dead outside a Canton home, his body battered and lying in the snow. Hours earlier, he had been with his girlfriend, Karen Reed, who now stands...
Hey, have you fuckers hit the like on this yet? It would really, I would really appreciate it. It'd be amazing. I would really love it. Thank you.
accused of killing him by backing into him with her SUV. But the story doesn't end there. Jennifer McCabe, a friend of Reed's and a central figure that night, told investigators she helped Reed search for O'Keefe. Yet questions have swirled around McCabe's actions, her phone searches, her timing, and the exact role she played that night. Karen Reed insists she's being framed, pointing to inconsistencies in witness statements and suggesting law enforcement is protecting one of their own. The case has sparked outrage, conspiracy theories, and rallies outside the courthouse. As the legal drama unfolds, 3 lives remain entangled in a web of tragedy, loyalty, and a relentless pursuit of justice.
There's always a web.
Part of this case, a big part of this case is that the two sides have completely different versions of what happened to John O'Keefe, right? On the one hand, Karen Reed ran him over with his car. On the other hand, he was killed by people inside 34 Fairview, then put out on the yard, and then Karen Reed was framed by many of those same people, including the lead investigator, right? Those are the two versions. So witnesses who are testifying about items, their credibility is crucial in this case because you have prosecution witnesses who the defense says are part of the conspiracy. So obviously their credibility is everything. Are they telling the truth or are they covering everything up? And then you've got experts who are going to testify as well. Experts who are going to look at the same data and come to different conclusions with that data. Their credibility is incredibly important in all of this. And ultimately figuring out what is the truth here. What is the truth here? Who's telling the truth? Who's not telling the truth?
It's not a question anymore.
So
Vinny. You sound
what we're going to
stupid.
do is take a look at the body language and some of the context of some of the statements that are being made by some of the important witnesses in the case. And right now we're going to look at where those stories or the testimony or statements conflict with one another. One conflict is between Karen Reed and John O'Keefe's mother, Peggy, talking about what happened when she returned to John O'Keefe's home that morning. Like Karen Reed is saying that Peggy is accusing her of something, and Peggy O'Keefe said that I never did that. So what I want to do is show you those clips. On the one hand, you'll see Karen Reed in a TV interview because she hasn't testified inside the courtroom, and you'll see Peggy O'Keefe inside the courtroom. Again, they're talking about the same incident, or lack of incident, or it either happened or it didn't happen. Let's watch.
His mother leans over the kitchen island and says to me, I think it looks like he got hit by a car. It looks like he got hit by a car.
Did you ever lean over the kitchen island and say, I think he looks like he got hit by a car?
No. I don't remember talking to her that morning.
Complete conflict there, right? And that brings us to the first question in our investigation. And it's about this conflict of statements, of versions of what's happening. Who is more believable? In this scenario, who's more believable? Is it Karen Reed?
You know what's really strange about this? What's really I see people talking about her lying, right? Like there's like the trolls on X and everybody, they're just like, dude, she's lying. Those clips are everything, blah, blah, blah. Listen, even if Karen Reed is lying, it doesn't matter. The data dictates that she didn't hit John O'Keefe, period. Period. It doesn't matter. She could be up there and just fucking rave like a lunatic. It wouldn't fucking make a difference. The evidence dictates that she didn't hit him. It's just that simple. Like all of the evidence. Like this is the most It's so funny that the trolls keep calling this an open and shut case because she's lying. Like, she's not lying. But even if she was, like, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a fucking difference at all. Like, Brennan with his little fucking magic show, with his little misdirection tactics, showing these clips like they're commercial breaks in the trial, basically making a farce out of the trial. He's literally making a show out of the trial. Like, this is something that if I'm Alan Jackson, in closing, I'm going to mention. Or whoever's doing the closing, I'm going to mention. I'm going to go, I mean, you guys got a great show from the prosecution. This whole trial, all these weeks, you guys are here working hard, and you got to see a great show displayed by Hank Brennan in the Commonwealth. That's totally some shit that I would say in closing arguments with my fucking crackerjack Institute of Law and stuff degree. I'm just saying.
Or Peggy O'Keefe, John O'Keefe's girlfriend accused of murder, or John O'Keefe's mother who testified for the prosecution. Here with us, jury consultant, human behavior expert, and body language expert Susan Constantine, and retired police officer after 2 decades, an expert in police interview.
It's my homegirl, Susan Constantine. Y'all remember Susan Constantine? So a while back, Nick Rocco set up a little fundraiser stream for me. Oh, the turtle, thank you again, buddy. Oh, my science, right? Yeah. Some of you guys, my McLeans know who know my little run in with Susan Constantine. So Nick Rocco, being the industrious fellow that he is, came up with this little fundraiser stream when I first came onto the scene here. And he says, "How do you feel about having Susan Constantine on your show?" I said, "Who's Susan Constantine? I know the name. I just don't remember." He's like, "Oh, the body language expert." Okay, the body language expert. Got it. Yeah, that sounds like it would be fun. Sure. Now, I don't believe in that shit. I think it's fucking bullshit. Like total bullshit. And I know, don't get me wrong, I do like the behavior analyst guys. Those guys are cool. But I think that there's no actual science behind body language experts. I think everyone has their own mannerisms. Everyone has their own way of doing things and expressing themselves. And I think it's fucking absurd to think that there's a science to narrow someone down as to whether or not they're lying and whether or not they're guilty of something just because they might put their hands in their pocket or just because they might scratch their head. They might just be nervous. Like, you're never gonna fucking convince me that there's this whole science behind studying this, and it just sounds like a whole bunch of bullshit to fucking sell books and dazzle people at fucking seminars, and bullshit seminars too. I think Susan Constantine's a fucking fraud, if I'm being totally honest. But I think anybody who's a fucking body language expert is a fucking fraud. I mean, honestly, I think it's bullshit. Like, there's no way. I've seen people, I saw the whole world, and everybody thinks they're a fucking body language expert too in true crime. That's why that shit works so well, because everybody looks at somebody like Susan Constantine, or looks at someone like anybody who does that shit. They're gonna go, "Ooh, I knew that. Oh my God." Right. When they cross their arms, "Oh my God, I knew that." And it's just so people who act like web sleuths can fucking have something to relate to and feel validated. So it's a great racket. It's a fucking excellent racket. But so she comes on the show. I have this intro that I don't really play much anymore. But I had this intro because it's like 5 minutes long, you know what I mean? And I played so many things already on the intro. The intro's long enough, you know what I mean? So I and someone, Laura P, she made this for me, and it was really nice of her to do that. And I played it for a long time, and I still play it sometimes. I just, you know, but there's a couple of things in there where, you know, some of my older funny moments and they're pretty I don't know. I guess some people might be offended by the type of humor that it is, but you know, too fucking bad. And I played the goddamn intro, and then she comes on the show, and we actually had a great show. I was really nice, and we had a great show. We had a great conversation. I was interested in what she was saying, but you know, I also kind of had to act like, you know, there was a chance she was going to convince me that it was you know, a real thing. So we do the show, it's great. And then the next day, I think it was, Nick Rocco texts me, right? And he's like, yo, like, is there a way that you can like cut that intro out? And I was like, no. And I'm not blaming him because, you know, he's not a creator, he's not a YouTuber, he doesn't really get the whole, he doesn't truly like get the whole dynamic between a creator and their chat, you know what I mean? Like you know, when I'm live and you guys are hanging out with me, dude, it's like fuck the world, you know what I mean? And and he's not really going to get that because he's not, you know, a creator, and that's okay. I'm not criticizing him for it. I'm just saying, you know, he's just not going to get it. But the only way to really do that is just be like, no, I'm not doing that. No, because one of the reasons is because what happens is if I cut that part out, then the chat doesn't show up. And then a lot of people who watch the replays like to look at the chat that's going on right now. They like to see it. And then what happens when you edit the video, the chat disappears permanently. It's gone. No more chat. And this chat is part of my channel. You guys are part of this channel. So I don't like to fucking do that. So I briefly explained this to him, and I was just like, nope, just not going to do it, you know? And apparently what happened was she was so mad because her husband was like furious about it. And like, she was like, it's bad for my brand, you know, like it's basically calling my channel a bad look. You know, now I could have got offended by that, but you know, it's nothing to really get offended about. Like this channel's not for fucking stuck up people like that. This channel's not for frauds. So, you know, I wasn't really offended by it. And but she was just like just so appalled, you know, like no sense of humor at all. Like it was just, yeah. I mean, and it's funny because like it was insulting, but I didn't really feel insulted because of it was her. You know what I mean? I just knew she just didn't get it. And but you know, I made it clear, like afterwards I did a stream where I said, just so everyone knows, because I'd hate to do anything bad for her brand. So just everyone know that Susan Constantine had no idea that I had such a vulgar sense of humor. And so just so you guys don't think that this is indicative to her brand, she wanted nothing to do with this channel, and had she known, then she would have never done the live stream. Okay, so again, I'm reiterating that just so you know. Susan Constantine is her brand is way more important and too good for the likes of this vulgar, disgusting channel. So make sure that you know that they're not, indicative of each other. Okay, very important.
Interviews, suspect body language. He now trains investigators. Dr. Mike McCutcheon is with us as well. Great to have you both here. Okay, Susan, how do you see these two? Karen, obviously there are different places. One's a TV interview, one's in court. But what are you seeing from Peggy O'Keefe? What are you seeing from Karen Reed to try to figure out who is more believable?
Okay, well, first of all, there's problems in both of them, okay? So it's not either or, they both have issues. One of them is when we're listening to Karen Reed, she is reenacting what she is what occurred that day. The problem was the emotion is wrong. So what we're seeing is disgust. If you look at, see her nose lift up like that, that's disgust. So that is an emotion, how she feels about Peggy, not the anger or concern.
Or, because I love this shit. She's never even met Karen Reed, and she's got her fucking snowed, and it's absolute bullshit. What she's doing is she's reenacting the disgust that Peggy O'Keefe allegedly expressed towards Karen Reed. It's called an impression. That's what she just did. And then you're sitting here saying that Karen Reed is showing her disgust for, you're not even a very good, so do you think that actors are really feeling those emotions when they're in the movies? Is that what you think, Susan Constantine? Wow. Oh my God. I'm watching this movie Dazed and Confused. Oh, do you see that Matthew McConaughey? He has a drug problem and he likes young girls. It's a movie. It's a character he's playing. No, I just heard him talk about loving those high school girls because they stay the same age and he gets older. I heard him. Matthew McConaughey. Is that what you do, Susan Constantine? Because that's exactly, that's all that Karen Reed was playing, a character. The person sitting on the stand right there. That's it. That's how she interpreted what was said to her.
Concern that the mother would have had. The other thing is her voice pitches super high, really super fast and high. That's
what
not.
I mean. Like, I just explained it in the most simple way, and she's like this snake oil salesman that's trying to make this out to be a science. There's no fucking science behind it. She did a goddamn fucking impression. That's it. The fuck are you talking about, lady? It's an impression. No body language science behind that shit. I'll explain the body language science behind it. I remember Peggy O'Keefe saying this and doing this when she did it. He looks like he got hit by a car. That's how I remember it. That's it. I just explained it. What do you mean, Susan Constantine? There's no science. She's a snake oil salesman. She's full of shit. Susan Constantine is full of shit.
It's not generally how natural expressions show. They kind of have a apex and they kind of come down. So there was that jump really fast and it then came right back down. Was wrong. Okay. The other thing is that she didn't.
Dude, I'm in the wrong fucking racket, bro. I'm just gonna start a body language fucking channel, bro. That's it. I'm a fucking body language expert now, bro. That's it. I've decided that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to start analyzing everyone's fucking body language now. And I'm going to write a goddamn book.
Didn't lean forward. She says she leaned forward. Her body didn't lean forward. She raised her eyebrows in convincing. She's trying to convince rather than convey. And then when we look at Peggy, there's also issues there too, because we see some linkages of shoulder shrugs. And when you watch her response, there is a slight delay.
Micro shoulder shrugs. You mean she slightly shrugged her shoulders and that fucking says something? That could be she's thinking. That could just mean she's fucking thinking. That's what some people do when they fucking think, lady.
Delay of when she says no. So she should have had this no 1 to 2 seconds prior. So the fact that she delayed, and the shoulder shrugs right here, and then the deep breathe in, the deep breathe out, that falls under psychophysiology. So when I'm looking at the 6 channels, and here I'm seeing indicators of deception where I'm seeing more performance when I'm looking at Karen Reed.
All right, Dr. Mike McCutcheon, what are you seeing from Karen Reed, John O'Keefe's girlfriend, accused murderer, versus John O'Keefe?
This guy's sitting there like, what the fuck did I just listen to, bro?
His mother.
You took my phrase, the convincing over conveying. I say that all the time. I think Karen in the first clip, she really is trying to convince you. She is putting on that performance. She's doing all the theatrics to get you to believe. Remember, most of our language isn't what we're saying. It's why we're here, for body language and our tone. And she's trying to put on the show. It's not so much what she's saying. So I have a problem with that, specifically where in my opinion, I would see that as a deceptive statement, instead of her saying, yeah, John's mother, she was angry with me and she accused me of hitting him with the car. She said that she hit it, but yeah, I have more than that. This is like, oh, I got to really make this exciting. I really got to make this convincing. That's what I get from Karen on that one. I will disagree a little bit on Peggy. I took the shoulder shrug, to me was really big. You know, I didn't take it as a deception, more as an indifference, where she's just like, and it could be an indifference to one or two things. It could be an indifference to Karen, where she's essentially saying, distancing myself from her lack of knowledge of what she's what she believes Karen is talking about. And she's just like, I don't know. And that could be it too. So I saw her statement and what she testified to be more believable. There were still those issues that were just brought up. But I found her statement to be more credible. And I took that shoulder shrug more as a lack of knowledge and indifference towards Karen.
All right, let's get to one of the big issues in the case, which is whether or not Karen Reed asked Jennifer McCabe to do the Google search, or as the defense says, Jennifer McCabe did the Google search the night before and didn't do it that morning. So here is Karen Reed and Jennifer McCabe talking about this issue.
She started yelling and pulling on me to Google hypothermia and Google how long it takes for somebody, to die in the cold.
Nobody believes
Had
that.
you ever attempted to search about hypothermia any time before that moment, that morning?
No.
Or that day?
No.
That week?
No.
Karen, did you tell Jen to make that Google search that morning?
I did not. I did not tell Jen to make a Google search. I certainly didn't tell her to make the one at 227 either.
All right, Dr. Mike, I'll let you go first this time. What are you seeing from Karen Reed versus Jennifer McCabe on this really, really important issue?
Well, I have to say, in the first clip, she didn't give us much. It was very straightforward. She said, no, she is mimicking what she is saying, which is more what a truthful person would say. So if I'm like, yes, that happened, or no, that didn't happen, and you have the body language matching what the words are, she's very straightforward. There's not as much in her clip. What I did see in Karen's clip was I took two things from it. One was a little bit of that micro expression of that smile that I just see it here on the screen of that duper's delight, the emotional response of like successfully lying. I took that when she kind of gives that smile after. And then there was a change of language where she said, I did not, when she's referring to the search, I did not do that. I did not ask that. But then she changes it when she says the third time, she changes it to didn't. Usually there's a reason for a change of language. And sometimes it could be a change of language and it's not deceptive. But I found that to be a little bit concerning.
Interesting.
More concerning. The more concerning for me was that duper delight smile at the end.
Susan, you're nodding your head.
Yeah.
I'm reading your body language.
Well, I love him.
Bro. Yo, Susan Constantine looks like Walter Mercado. Oh my God, bro. Like, only a handful of you guys are gonna get that. She totally looks like Walter Mercado, bro. Like, she looks just like him, dude. Like oh my God, bro. Dude, listen, dude. This lady, I know people, bro. Okay. I'm saying there's like a 78% chance that she has a dungeon. That's all I'm saying. Like, her brand, whatever. Dude, listen. I know I sound bitter as fuck. Because it's just like, dude, like, why? My whole thing is like, you didn't fucking like vet me before you agreed to come on my show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't watch one of my streams. You just show up and then get mad at how somebody runs their show. Fuck is wrong with you, lady? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I've been this fucking cookie cutter creator this whole time. And then, I get Susan Constantine on, and then I just decide to fucking start simulating fucking fellatio with Bullhorn Betty in an intro. Like, that's not what happened at all. That's not even a little bit what happened. Like, it's your responsibility to vet me before you agree to come on my show. I don't go on somebody's show without watching their shit first. You know what I'm saying?
I think that we're probably two peas in a pod. So anyway, yeah, I totally agree with the first part of it. There was no indicators. Everything flowed well. The timing of it was great. There was nothing that was incongruent at all. So I'm going to give her an A on that one. Oh, Karen, this one was not.
We're down head at 2 words. Okay. Get into translate. Because I can me put watch is I have like they're like this can't. There's a conspiracy among it, Betty. Yeah, even crazier. Like, yeah. Okay, my bad. I was muted. Sorry about that. So he's one of those. There was this other creator who's just this fucking douchebag, and he decided to interview Bullhorn Betty, right? And so he decides to interview Bullhorn Betty, and I decided to snipe it, because he's a douchebag, and he was doing it to troll the community because nobody likes Bullhorn Betty, and he wanted to like fluff her up, and he was doing it just to piss everyone off. So I decided to just snipe it, and I was streaming it. And as I was streaming it, he tried to troll me by like every time he got a super chat, because he uses like OBS instead of StreamYard. And so like every time he was trying to troll me, like he tried to troll me by taking a clip of me during a drunk stream that we did, and I fucking danced, right? And was acting a fool. And so he clipped it and then tried to use it to troll me, which, I mean, I fucking do whatever the fuck I do. I don't mind making fun of myself and making a fool out of myself to make you guys laugh. You know what I mean? Patricia Ryder, thank you so much. Yeah, her voice, right? So he clips that and then he puts it on the screen. So every time he gets a membership or a super chat, that clip goes on the screen. And the way that he had his shit set up, and he couldn't change it in the middle of the stream, he had it set up to where Betty is on the screen. And whenever I was dancing, I was like, it looked like I was simulating that that I was like, you know, rubbing my dick on her face. Just to put it plainly, right? Which I didn't do. That was him. I was just dancing on a drunk stream, and he clipped it and then used it way later on to try to troll me, but he fucking trolled himself because he set it up to where it looked like I was fucking Betty in the head. So like, so that's why I'm laughing like a maniac right here. I get it, Betty. Yeah.
Did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl that like going
That is
and
the
getting her
best
done,
shit fucking
you know, shopping for
ever.
dresses with mommy. I was the, tomboy that liked playing with the kids.
Shout out to Cherry for just being
I didn't have to
just
do anything.
easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had, man. That someone could have that.
I didn't have to do anything. That's why it was so fucking funny to me. That's why I was laughing so goddamn hard, right? Because I didn't have to do anything. He tried to troll me, and then like it backfired on him. And I was streaming it, and it was fucking beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, I mean, and then Susan Constantine got all pissy about the fact that that was in my intro and didn't know until she went back and watched the shit after the fact. That's not my problem. That's her problem. So yeah, now you know the whole Susan Constantine Glare story.
The contractures, and anytime you do that, and what she did is she changed the contracture. So why did she change the contracture? The other thing is, though, what she did was I want to see if you kind of pick this up, Mike, too, is that she gave what we call a certainty qualifier. She came back and she says, oh, and by the way, it didn't happen at 2:15 either. So what she did is what was a certainty qualifier. This falls under impression management, liar.
Yo, wrap it up, B. That they gave her the cutoff music.
Pants on fire.
All right, Susan Constantine, Mike McCutcheon sticking around. Coming up next, is Jennifer McCabe's testimony trustworthy?
No.
She started saying, could I have hit him? Did I hit him?
Just look at that touch from Trinity Rodman. Saturday night. When she is on the field, she changes the game.
Saturday night.
So you with me.
I hit him.
So it was you.
That was Jen McCabe back in 2024 at the first trial. And I think everyone's noticed that her demeanor much different second time around. And the jury that's sitting there now, they're only seeing her second time around. They didn't see her demeanor in the first trial. The rest of us did, obviously. But I want to take a look at some more of her testimony here on that big issue, the alleged confession of Karen Reed. Like Karen Reed being the one introducing the concept of, hey, I may have hit him. I am the one who may have struck John O'Keefe. Let's take a look.
When she got on the phone, I had told her, Karen, I saw you guys outside of my sister's house. And then she told me she didn't remember being there. And then she went on to say, she started saying, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? I don't. And then she just was just all over the place, like screaming my name, screaming so many different things. She was hard to follow or understand.
An important witness, a very important witness for prosecutors because of the conversations and
an important witness.
What she witnesses. She's there when they find John O'Keefe. Plus, she is part of the entire night that night. Also important for the defense because they believe she's part of the conspiracy in all of this. So that brings us to the next question in our investigation, and it's about this witness. Is Jennifer McCabe's testimony trustworthy?
Fuck no.
Joining us to help figure all of this out, Susan Constantine still with us, and longtime Massachusetts attorney. He was a prosecutor for 20 years, including as the homicide chief in Norfolk County. Richard, I call him Rick, Grundy is with us. Okay, I'll start with you, Susan. In what you saw in that piece, is that consistent with what you've seen previously from Jennifer McCabe?
Well, I can't recall what she was like previously.
No, I mean, in the previous segment. We looked at her in the previous segment.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, there's a difference there. So what I'm looking at when I'm seeing her and her body language, that she starts right off with a flutter. So there's a little anxiety, a little concern right there. So
why is she dressed like Ziggy Stardust?
She got a little nervous right at the very beginning. And then there's a part where her flow and her language changes. So she's trying to recall what Karen Reed had said, but when she does it, she looks up, her eyes kind of dart a little bit. She breaks her flow. She abandons her thought midway, and then she loses her track. And then she tries to emphatically say what Karen Reed said, which is, of course, we know the famous, did I hit him? Did I hit him? So I'm not going to throw deception at her. I'm just saying that's her interpretation of it. But I do think that she has a hard time recalling it as it actually really happened because of the abandonment and the thought, the fluttering, and the break in the flow.
Okay.
This lady's an asshole.
Rick, I want you to take a look at this. This is the cross-examination of Jen McCabe, talking about her and Kerry Roberts, the other important witness, who talked about this before testifying and before giving their formal statements. Let's take a look.
You wanted to find out if she had talked to these particular law enforcement officers and what she had told them so that your story could somehow align or it could inform how you responded to questions that they asked you. Isn't that true?
That's not true. We both know what happened. We don't have to have a story. There's nothing more than me calling and saying, hey, did they come to your house? That's what we did when the media showed up, when Miss Reed's private investigator showed up. We just give each other the heads up. Hey.
I love how on one side of her mouth, she talks about how they didn't talk about the case. And then on the other side of her mouth, she says that they sat together and put together a timeline. Like there's no more than talking about the case than putting together a timeline. Like that's the ultimate talking about the case. That's as much of talking about the case as you can get. It's putting together a timeline. What are you talking about?
Hey, somebody's coming, because we're just like normal moms. We're not used to this.
Okay, Rick, I want you to go beyond the body language and put all the circumstances of everything that's happening inside this courtroom. Do you believe her testimony is trustworthy? Will the jury accept her testimony?
I think the general fabric of what she is putting forth to the jury is trustworthy, and I think the jury will largely believe it. Any piece of evidence, whether it's testimony, whether it's physical evidence, whether it's an expert's witness, to really hit the mark is reliant on corroboration. That is some other independent piece of evidence you can put before the jury that lends credibility, lends the statement or the piece of evidence some credibility. With expert testimony, even, you know, you may accept the science, but that's going to have a lot to do with the credibility you assign that person who's offering it to you in their testimony. And here, I think that,
like, I can't figure out what Vinny's thinking, bro, and what Core TV's thinking with these fucking people sometimes. Like, it bums me out because it's like, man, you know, it's great to see like Melanie Little and Nurse Kim on there, Nick Rocco, but it's like when they have fucking clowns on there, it's just like it's like, dude, I don't want the world to see the good people lumped up with those clowns, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the world to look at it that way. You know, like I don't want the world to see Melanie Little and Nurse Kim that way because they're up there amongst the likes of fucking Susan Constantine. You know what I mean? All right, listen, bro. Phone lines are now open. Y'all can call in if you want. I mean, I know, listen, Court TV is entertainment. You know what I mean? And like, it entertains me to fucking to go over it. It just does.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
You can just call me Karen.
Okay.
And I'm half asleep.
Okay, Karen.
Something I noticed, and I haven't heard anybody else mention this, but I noticed that Peg O'Keefe lied when she was on testifying.
What'd she lie about?
She said that she was at the hospital and Karen showed up behind her and she hollered at her, "Peg, is he dead? Is he dead, Peg?" And she looked at the nurse and she sneered and said, "What is she doing here?" And then she lied. She said the nurse told her she's here for a psych eval. And that was a lie.
How do you know that?
Karen is protected by HIPAA. I really doubt that Karen had given the hospital written permission to tell Peg O'Keefe that she was there for a psych eval.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Well, then that hospital is in big trouble.
Well, they could be in big trouble.
That nurse is going to be
right.
fired.
They could be in big trouble. I mean, that'd be up to Karen to take that kind of action. But I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen, is all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. All right. She could have done it, but I don't believe it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I don't know what to make of Peggy O'Keefe, you know?
Well, let me tell you what I make of her. I'm an old hag, and I know what an old hag is.
Okay,
My
Karen.
name is Karen.
Okay, Karen.
She's an old hag.
She's an old hag. Okay.
She's an old hag, and I know an old hag when I see one.
Okay, so you think
I'm going to go to sleep.
All right, Karen. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Good night.
Good night.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Wonderful. I just want to say you are a rock star. I love how you stand up for truth and justice. So, yay, you.
Wow. Yay, me. All right. Let me give myself a round of applause.
I also wanted to say that I went on another live chat place the other night, and because they were getting some of the specifics wrong about Karen Reed, what was, the truth.
Who was getting it wrong?
Another chat place that I went on about a week and a half ago, and
Okay.
so I, went on to let people know that they didn't know the truth. What was really going on, and I helped change a lot of people's minds because they didn't know all what was going on. So I'm happy about that. That's my way of helping, I guess. Of course, like a standout type of thing. And then when I went on the live panel thing, I'd never done that before. That was kind of fun. And there was a lady who was a doctor on there that was just convinced that Karen was guilty and blah, blah, blah. Well, there were some things she didn't know. And all of a sudden she said, well, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that either. And she was, whoa, and I thought, well, that was my way of helping.
I'd say 90% of the people who are just now watching the trial and following the case and think that Karen Read is guilty don't know 10% of what we all know.
Right. Because we've been following it. Well, I've been following it since the first trial myself, and you and other podcasters, and a lot of Melanie Little. I love her. Nurse Kim, Jerks, LTL. I know there's more. I don't mean to leave them out.
You don't have to name them all. We're all big fans of all of them. Yeah.
Right. And I just know that a lot of people are really nervous about this trial. We haven't really gotten into it yet. This is just a beginning.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, the defense hasn't even begun to present their case yet, but a lot of their case that they're going to be presenting is going to be done in cross. Like, for instance, Jen McCabe's cross, Carrie Roberts' cross, those two.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that just worked out for the defense, even though the prosecution is the one who called them up. It just worked out for the defense to show that the two of them lied, the two of them colluded, the two of them deny colluding, and it's their stories don't mesh. Both of their stories, each of their stories contradict themselves. So it's so far the jury is definitely not convinced or leaning towards Karen Read being guilty. I guarantee it.
Well, of course, I pray so.
Unless they're fucking retarded, but
Yeah. Well, there was a few, I think, on the last one, jury. So I wouldn't call them retarded. That's disrespectful, but
Ronnie is not. I mean, I still commend Ronnie for coming forward and speaking, but then he started to fucking enjoy it, and it's just like, hold on, man, you don't get to enjoy it because we're still stupid. Stop it. You know what I mean? Like,
I do agree. I do agree.
You don't get to sit here and act like you're some sort of fucking important
celebrity
role here because you were one of the fucking reasons why this is why this went to mistrial, because you didn't have enough balls to speak up and say something was wrong. You just took somebody. You just went with the flow when somebody was telling you to ignore exculpatory evidence as distractors. Fuck out of my face. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. I did a standout by myself. I live in Green River, Wyoming. I just moved here a year and a half ago and love it here. I love it here. It's beautiful.
Dude, Wyoming. I got to check out Wyoming, man. I got to check out Wyoming.
Beautiful here. It is so beautiful here.
Because I'm going to tell you, I'm man enough to admit that Brokeback Mountain is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a fact.
Is it? I've never seen that yet.
It's an excellent movie. It's a beautiful movie. Everybody's just, oh my God, the gayness, but it's like there was like one scene, really, maybe two, but the rest of the movie was like, the point of the movie was really good, but mostly Ang Lee is just an amazing director, and the cinematography was gorgeous in that movie. So
Oh,
like, and so I could watch that movie just for the cinematography and the score, the musical score, like a
right.
million times, because it's just so good.
I just love it here. Every day I go out and I have my dog and we walk to the grocery store. She's a service dog in training, so I can take her into any store I want. And the mountains, we get to see the mountains all the time, and of course we're higher altitude up.
Yeah.
So it took me about 6-7 months for me to be able to learn to breathe, again. And but it's just the scenery. It's just gorgeous. And but I did a standout by myself with my dog.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that was fun. And I play. There's so many music out there now about this case. And so I brought my bigger Bluetooth and system, and I just play it for while we're walking and when we're going to the stores and stuff. And people start asking me, well, what's about this? Why is there so much music? Who is this person? And I'm able to share now other people. I'm telling them,
That's awesome.
to go to, well, of course, your podcast, but other people's podcasts. And like Miss Shorty, and us on Sundays, not every Sunday, but we are making an album about Karen Reed.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah, it's just awesome. But I better let you go. I know you have other people, but I just wanted to share.
Right on, Kathy. Thank you for calling. Thank you for doing those standouts by yourself, man. That's awesome. That's great.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
All right. Have a good one, Kathy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Next caller. Kathy was awesome. Kathy and Esty out there kicking ass. Solo soldiers. Love it.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh my God. Hello, Will. It's Rose from Los Angeles.
What's up, Rose from Los Angeles?
I just happened to pop on and see that you were live, and I'm like, I'm going to call. So thanks for taking my call. Have you been in the courtroom yet to see the jury, the current jury, or no?
No, I have not.
Okay. I'm just really wondering.
I was there for jury selection, but I don't
Okay.
know who was chosen and who wasn't. So, I mean, I got
I
to
just
see,
heard it's a little younger. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I got to see who got sent home. You know?
You saw the loser.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I'm just worried sometimes that there's so much information. I mean, even all of us that know every detail, it's a lot. I just really wish we could simplify it in some way, because I think they just kind of shut down after a while, and I don't want them missing the main points,
Yeah, but I don't think, I mean, the thing is Alan Jackson has a way of making his line of questioning so interesting that the jury is engaged.
Absolutely.
Like,
I'm surprised Hank isn't a little more exciting. I was expecting him to be a little more something.
What I'm
Hank's
worried
kind of
about,
boring right now.
I'm not worried about what happens inside the courtroom when it comes to the defense. I'm worried about when it comes to the dynamic between the defense and the jury. I think that that's solid. I worry about what happens during deliberations with the jury. That's what I'm worried about.
The strong personalities.
Right. But
Yeah.
as far as because I mean, the last trial I was in the courtroom for some pretty significant parts. I was there in the courtroom when the jury first saw Karen back into John O'Keefe's SUV, his Traverse. That changed everything. The jury was just like, oh, like they shifted in their chairs and were like this, you were just like, wow, because you could see his car move and you could see the part of her car that touched his. So it's
Absolutely.
like,
It was a
oh,
game changer. Yeah.
right there. Immediately they're just like, doubt about the taillight right there. So then,
absolutely.
And then I was there the next day when they revealed that the video was inverted. The Sally Port video was inverted. That fucking fucked the jury all up. The jury is like, what the fuck? And Buchanan
Did
was
we
on
all
the
think
stand.
that
Yeah.
this second round was going to be a little dull since we've been through it before, and it hasn't? Like every day is like just something. I mean, it's
Well,
insane.
I compare it to like watching the 92 USA basketball dream team play. You know what I mean? Like Hank
Yeah.
Brennan just simply doesn't have a case against Karen Reed. So he's putting on a show. But the show is so obvious that it's a show that it's not going to work for the jury. And this is what's interesting is the defense is counting on this. The defense is counting on the jury knowing who, when this happened, by the way, when the inverted video happened, as soon as court let out, David Yannetti instinctively walked right up to me. And now, not because it was me, but because I just happened to be the first one in his path, right? But he walks right up to me all excited and goes, "This is great. Now the jury knows that the prosecution is trying to deceive them and not us." And so Brennan is doing that this whole time. You see what I'm saying? And the jury, if they picked a good jury, they're not stupid. They're going to look at why is the defense seem to be hammering away at trying to get to the truth, and why does the prosecution seem like they're playing defense here? And why is he putting on a show here? Why is he playing these video clips like we're at a Comic-Con in between all the?
I hate those things. They're so choppy and weird, and they kind of just like throw you off base. They're so different from court.
It's hyperbole.
Yeah. No, it's just weird. I mean, I have a theory, though, that the feds were definitely in an ice cream truck outside Jen McCabe's house, and that's where that comparison came. But she was like, well, it's just like when the ice cream man comes and you call Carrie. I mean, I'm still so amazed how much we didn't know, and we're still finding out new stuff. It's just, I'm really hoping that the ARCA experts can be explained better based on this recent testimony from Jen McCabe when they said it's another law enforcement agency. If we could use that description, I think that will be clearer to the jurors of who hired them.
Yeah,
versus like the mystery hire.
If I'm one of those attorneys in that war room planning this defense, I am putting a shit ton of energy into my line of questioning of the ARCA witnesses. I mean, like, I'm really going to concentrate on that, you know, because there's got to be a really, really toe the line way for the jury to know that it was the feds that hired them. There's got to be a way to do it, you know? So I would be hyper focused on that.
Jen's testimony helps that. Jen's testimony, she even at the very end said, well, you know, they're not investigating anymore. Now, I'm not sure if the jury picks up on that, but that could give them an insight that they weren't investigating Karen. Who were they investigating? I mean, she let out so much that I think might open the door for more explanation of who they are, less mystery, I hope.
Yeah.
Because that's huge. We got to get them to hear ARCA because they're facts. They're just with that. It's a full stop, you know. So, but I don't know. I'm glad Jen McCabe's over. She was giving me anxiety. She was so infuriating.
Yeah, she was. She was. And Alan Jackson
crazy
was
infuriating. Yeah, Alan Jackson must have had a couple cocktails after that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how he kept his cool, but he's a pro.
Anyway,
he is. I'll let you go. I'm so glad to touch base with you, but God, you know, I just feel like it's like a full-time job covering this thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, I love doing it, and I feel really strongly about it. So, you know,
well, you do a great job, and I really love watching your stream. And we're out here in LA. There's not a lot of people that know it because me and we're not like she watches it too. But we're not a lot of people out here that know about it, you know, so I have the camaraderie. So I really rely on this.
Spread the word, man.
You need to talk this through. But we're hoping to come out. We're going to plan a trip out there because it's history. And I'm worried about Aiden's case. I mean, there's just so much. It's like I'm really too involved like everybody else. We're all very much involved. Probably.
Well, because it affects us all.
Anymore.
It affects us all.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
a
why.
huge thing, and it's just it's the first time our eyes have been open, I think, to a lot of stuff that's going on, and so anyway. But thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're great. Really love watching your show and appreciate you.
Thank you so much. That means the world. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care. Okay.
You
Have
too.
a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Call from
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Carol Manis.
What? I'm sorry. What's your name?
Carol Manis, M-O-N-A-S-C.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to give your last name. Carol, how you doing, Carol?
I'm very good.
Excellent. What's on your mind?
I was just going to point out that I think that when Carrie Roberts was driving the mother to the hospital, that when Karen said supposedly, I think I hit him, or, she didn't say I hit him, but when I think I hit him, which was supposedly said to her and Jen, not I hit him, I think I hit him in front of both of them, that she must have said that to Peg in the car ride, right? And I'm sure that's why at the house, which, when Karen said that, nasty thing, that I do believe that Peg did say that it was definitely said to Peg at some point in that car ride or in that hospital, that it was told to her by one, or Jen probably called, that, that was put in her mind that has happened. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Definitely.
All right, well,
Definitely.
thank you so much for calling, Carol. I appreciate you.
Okay, but that definitely was put in her mind, and that the way that she said that on the tape they're playing, making it sound like, I never said that to her.
Right.
No, definitely it was said on the way to the hospital, put in her mind that she did say that at the island, and that's why Karen said that.
Okay, Carol. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. You're on. You're on. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Claire? This is Garrett. How you doing?
Doing good, Garrett. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. Good. Hey, appreciate everything you do
Thanks,
for
man.
Karen, in raising money and reporting, the truth.
Appreciate that.
But I'll keep it short. What cracks me up with Jen is she doesn't remember a fucking thing. She doesn't remember anything, but she remembers
things that are
her
inconsistent,
head.
right? She remembers totally small little details that are always inconsistent in her testimonies and shit. Right. Yeah, she's
yeah.
We're the most obvious signs of a liar.
Right. It's like we're pulling out of the driveway, and I turn my head to look because the girls in the back are making fun of me because I got peanut butter in the car.
Right.
You're not going to remember that.
Right.
You're
gonna remember something like that, but you're not gonna remember the other 90% of these incredibly vivid details that are vital to the case, when you're also saying that you're so affected because he was your friend and you're trying to build a timeline and you're buddies with everybody in the family. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody believes you. Stop it.
Exactly. It just everything is so shady. Everything they're doing, from that night on, the text messages, the whole police investigation is corrupt, and then for me, the biggest thing is Brian Albert never comes out of the house. It just,
Yeah.
You know, if you talk to any other first responder, whether it's police, fire, EMT, you know, if they put themselves in his shoes, they shake their head, you know, and they say, "Man, that doesn't make sense." You'd be out there in a second.
She spoke to her sister. They were awake. I don't give a fuck what she says. She spoke to her sister. They were awake. They avoided the whole situation actively. They actively avoided the whole situation. They intentionally avoided the entire situation. That's absolutely
100%.
what happened. I have no doubt in my mind at all. And Brian Albert, I mean, when you're a 30-year first responder veteran, a 30-year man, like you've got an instinct, dude. You sleep with one eye open. You know what I mean? Like,
no doubt.
You've got an instinct, especially if you're a family man. You've got an instinct. And this guy's not sleeping through all these first responders in his yard, dude.
Correct. But seriously, the first thing, if I woke up to something like that, the first thing I'd be thinking is, oh shit, there's someone in my family, right? If you got kids, what did one of my kids go out last night? Right. You'd be running out there barefoot. What's going on? You know, it just doesn't. It's like you said, they knew exactly what was up.
Right.
You know, the whole thing, it's just a big, cover up. Big cover up, man. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I just hope there's some justice, you know, if someone squeals or, you know, someone's going to come forward, you know, and you know what, I hate to say it, but, you know, I 99% chance she's acquitted. I mean, I just don't see how any jury finds her guilty, but, you know, in the crazy chance that, you know, she goes away, maybe that will be more pressure for someone to come forward and say, oh shit, now I got to live with, you know, someone doing 20, 25 years with what I know really happened, you know, but hopefully it don't come to that. But thanks again, brother. Appreciate all you do, man.
Oh, Garrett, no problem, buddy. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it, bud.
All right, man. Be good.
You too. Take care. You don't think Brian was in the house? What the fuck are you talking about? Everybody knows Brian was in the house.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
This is Amy in Panama City Beach, Florida.
Amy in Panama City Beach, Florida. How we doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Doing well.
I'm liking these late night streams for all of us night owls out here.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So I was just watching before your stream, I Don't Belong Here. It was covering Carrie's Good Morning America interview. Have you seen that?
I saw bits and pieces of it, but I didn't watch it, no.
Something she points out, I hadn't seen it before tonight, but Carrie says that on the way, when Karen was in such a panic and was so upset and going crazy, she says, but I understand how she feels. I mean, I would feel the same way. John was missing. She just flat out said she thinks Karen's least innocent of, murder, because she pretty much spelled it out that, if that's how Karen felt because John was missing. Anyway, I hadn't seen the interview until tonight. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's somehow nefarious that she's in a panic because her boyfriend's missing.
Right,
like,
but she's now like, oh, but I get it. I'd be the same way. But I thought she said she did it. It's just kind of, I hadn't put all that together I hadn't seen it until today.
Yeah, it sounds pretty ridiculous.
Lots of shadiness.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're about to see a whole lot of lies. I mean, we're about to see weeks and weeks of lies.
No, I'm not going to accomplish shit over the next few weeks.
Right.
The problem is I like to chat. I'll put y'all in my ears, but I like to chat, so I'll always stop and go back if I'm
Well,
I'm
right
doing
on. I'm glad you enjoy it,
anyway.
Amy.
Absolutely. I love the show. Thanks, Will, for all you do.
Oh, thank you for watching, Amy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Some great callers tonight, man. Fantastic.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Glare. This is Law School Dropout.
Law School Dropout. What's up, Law School Dropout?
I got a question for you. So Jen McCabe's husband, why would he not call her after she left to go pick up Karen or Karen showed up at the house? Why wouldn't he be calling her saying, "Hey, what's the status? Where are you at? What's going on? Have you found him?" There's no calls for him.
Well, my guess is that he hates her, and he was just glad that she wasn't there, and he finally got the bed to himself, and he went back to sleep. That's my guess.
That's that's a great guess.
I mean, Occam's razor dictates.
Do you know what I mean? If your girl left at 4 o'clock in the morning to go looking for one of your supposed friends, wouldn't you be calling her saying, "Hey, what's going on? Did you find her? What's going on with crazy Karen?" You wouldn't just not do anything.
Right.
Right. All right. Well, that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
Have a good night, brother.
Yeah,
I love your show.
It's a great point, man. I appreciate it. All right. Well, fuck you too, man. That guy was cool.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Love the show.
Right on. Who is this?
So, this is Andrea. I love the show.
Andrea,
I just
where
tuned
are you
in not
calling
too
from?
long ago.
Where are you calling from, Andrea?
I'm a local. I'm in Weymouth.
Weymouth. Okay.
Yeah. So, first of all, I know how corrupt it is here because I see it myself. Like, I have friends in the force, and I mean, I've been at parties where they're like, "So, do you want any weed? Because I have a whole bunch of shit that I confiscated." Like, it's crazy what they get away with, right? So, yeah. I'm talking like a whole collection too. But like, God, the corruption. So I was just wanting to bring up a couple of things. First of all, don't they have?
Don't call here and fuck up your connect, man. You know what I mean?
No. That guy's actually not a cop anymore, but that was a while ago. But still,
Shocker.
So here's my whole thing. I know, right? So if they have his face recognition opening up his phone at like 12:32, isn't Karen at his house already at 12:36? There's no way she would have got back to the house in 4 minutes.
No. Yeah. No.
That doesn't add up at all.
Yeah. The timeline doesn't add up at all. At least not the Commonwealth's,
I'm hoping that Jackson's going to bring that up, and I mean, he's nasty. We know he's got this.
He has been. He's been putting that little. He's been throwing those in there. Like that seems to be his not so subtle way of keeping that in the jury's mind are the times.
I hope they don't forget that because that's huge.
Right. Hopefully the jury is taking notes. Jurors are taking notes as to the times of when things happened and how they're marked.
And I'm sorry, but Auntie Beveridge throwing in this whole jurors disregard the comments. There is no way if I was a juror, I would erase these comments from my brain.
No way.
If these people on this jury are not awake and paying attention, I mean, you gotta see that she is not guilty. Like, it's crazy. It's so much.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like they're gonna all walk free. I don't think any of them will be convicted of anything, but at the same time, I really don't think it's gonna be at the cost of Karen Reed. I think she's gonna get free.
Yeah.
And I think that this is all gonna end in an acquittal, and we are gonna party like rock stars.
We absolutely are. You better believe it.
Well, thanks for keeping me entertained in the middle of the night. I love all you guys, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons for Will.
Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate that.
Have a good night. I know you got a lot of people calling in, so I'll let you go.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Night.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Larry, this is Justin from San Antonio. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, Justin from San Antonio. How are you?
Real good, sir. Hey, just a quick question. I just wanted to know your opinion on how Alan Jackson, how he did on this cross-examination with Shin McCabe compared to the first trial. I was watching a couple of YouTube channels with, they have the lawyers run, and they said he came out a little bit different this time around. Of course, it could have been because of Auntie Bev was kind of shutting him down with the questions. So I just want to get your opinion since you were kind of.
I
didn't get to watch the first one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we saw a very different Alan Jackson as much as we saw a very different Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe was clearly coached, and I think that Alan Jackson, because the thing is what matters is that he came out on top at the end, right? He ended it he ended it with the upper hand. Like he showed the jury this person who's claiming to be a friend of John and looking to get justice for John literally did everything the opposite of somebody who would do something to try to help their friend. You know what I mean? So he ultimately made this point, and I think the jury saw it. Now, because of that, I'm willing to give Alan Jackson the benefit of the doubt that he knew this going forward. He knew that this cross-examination was going to take this much time. He knew it was going to be a battle of wills. He knew she was going to stonewall him, and that he was going to just make the jury see and get sick and make the jury sick of her. Make the jury sick and tired of hearing her lies over and over again. See her avoid questions constantly for 3 days. I think I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that that was his strategy. And then it worked out at the end. Now, the second day, she definitely came off like she had the upper hand. So if I'm wrong, then what we saw, my other theory would be that he was caught by surprise by how well coached she was and the method she's using. And wasn't really ready for it and got frustrated that second day. But then there was that Wednesday that was off, right? Or was it was the Thursday, sorry. There was that Thursday that was an off day. And Alan Jackson had all day to reconfigurate. He had all day, all night to fucking, recalibrate and assess what he was dealing with. And then Friday came around and he just kicked ass. So that's, at worst, that's the case as far as I'm concerned. But it wasn't so much a different Alan Jackson as it was, at least not in my opinion. It wasn't so much a different Alan Jackson as it was a different Jen McCabe, and Alan Jackson just having to adjust to it.
All right. I just wanted to know your opinion since you watched the first trial. I didn't get to watch the first trial.
Yeah.
But they were comparing it,
I recommend it, man.
Came out a little bit more.
I recommend
I will.
At least watching the cross-examinations of each of the Alberts and McCabe's. I would recommend doing that moving forward, especially since you have the advantage of only hearing out of all of them Jen McCabe and Kerry Roberts so far. Kerry Roberts wasn't even cross-examined in the first trial. So that's
right. And that's why I think that they made a big deal about it this time around. I mean, with Jen McCabe, because with Kerry Roberts, he came out, it was a slam dunk with Kerry Roberts. But with Jen McCabe, everybody was like, this wasn't the look the same and things like that. I do get the fact that last day he did, he did have so many points in there that I thought that the jury would, take away from. So, but yeah, that's it. Just love the show, Blair. Appreciate what you do, and continued success, man.
Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate you calling and listening.
No problem, but you need to come down to San Antonio whenever you have a chance, man. We're in Texas, so
maybe I've always wanted to visit Texas, man. So maybe one of these days, hopefully.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. You have a good night.
You too, bud. Thanks.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi, my name's Mandy. How are you?
Your name is Andy?
Mandy.
Man-
Mandy.
Mandy.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
I cannot sleep as well, and I have a burning question for you.
Okay.
I've always been curious about. I was born and raised in East Tennessee, and first thing I ever noticed was the 865 area code. Can you even say what county you're in? I'm just curious.
No.
Oh, okay. I understand. I know. You just don't fit what I grew up with. So, and you don't have the accent. I don't know. The glare does not match the stereotype. So I've always been fascinated.
I'm pretty well accepted where I live, but I am different than the norm here for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm a nice guy, so I'm pretty well accepted by my neighbors, and
Yeah, that's all they really care about, just being a good neighbor,
yeah.
That and how you vote, and if you don't tell them how you vote, if it disagrees with them, then they start to look at you a little differently. But I don't know your stance.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's I love where I live. It's very quiet, it's very small. Put it this way, there's a lot of antique shops around where I live. Put it that way.
I know exactly what you mean. So many either middle-aged women with a dream, or a rich husband, or it's just those ladies that have heirloom items from a big fucking family that are trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, I live in a real old town, and it's cool. There's a lot of history, so it's nice.
That's cool. I was born and raised in the Smokies, but anyway, I live in Boston. I moved here from East Tennessee 15 years ago. I don't know why I'm still here, but there's some reason I'm here. I just want to know, Karen Reed, obviously. Where is the ACLU when it comes to Aiden? Is anyone talking about this?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know he doesn't have the bandwidth to do public relations and reach out to these organizations, but surely, this is egregious. I don't know. I was talking with my friend who got me into Karen Reed. She sent me the article when we're both in recovery, and the article the next day came out that Karen, just that a woman had accidentally hit her, or it was likely accidental at that point, hit him with her car. And, we were just thinking, there for the grace of God go I, because we knew they were all wasted. And it's been a fascinating experience to watch my perceived or perceptions of what I imagine are the alcoholic family of the O'Keefes and all that, and Karen trying to navigate a very codependent, weird, angry, I don't know. I'm projecting a lot, but I'm, a woman that just studies these people, and they're fascinating. So I don't know. I don't have much else.
No, that's okay. No, I appreciate you calling. And I agree with all that. It's just, as far as the ACLU thing goes, I have no idea. I think Bradle's doing a great job. I think Bettero's doing a great job, and Turtle Boy is doing a great job. He's definitely making his attorneys work, but that's kind of part of what he hired them for. He hired them to protect his rights.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure they expect him to exercise them.
Absolutely. I'm talking about more where's the outrage?
The outrage isn't his case isn't public enough. The press has been, the press for the last year and a half at least has been keeping him out of the news almost seemingly deliberately. So
absolutely, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, people in East Tennessee would be fascinated by this. First of all, they'd be like, of course, Boston, but they would love
Oh,
it.
for
That
sure.
This is a democratic fucking machine that is corrupt. So
I
there's a
could
narrative
blindly
right there.
throw a rock outside of my window and hit a house where they would be pissed off about Turtle Boy situation.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. I don't know. I'm I was supposed to go to law school. All that stuff happened. And then so I'm a failed law school applicant. But I just
Loser. No, I'm just kidding.
I
I'm
know,
fucking with you.
right?
I'm
You know, I ended up getting abducted in Europe. It fucked me up. So there you go. There's
Jesus.
the things you say at 3 a.m.
God, that
on
has got to be the lamest excuse I have ever heard in my life. Yeah, I didn't go to law school because I got kidnapped. Get the fuck, Jesus! No, oh my God, that's crazy. You got abducted in Europe, like they tried to traffic you and shit. Is that like a real thing that fucking happened?
No, it was overnight. And then I swear to God, a gang Spanish guys saved me. I swear to fucking God.
A what?
I like a group of Spanish men saved me. It was 4 German guys dragging me through the streets on my feet. Like I had a concussion. I don't remember much of it, but I remember running into a bar screaming, help, help. I know you know what help means. And then, and that's all I remember. But I was told that a gang of Spanish guys beat them up and saved me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You know what's so funny? I don't know why the fuck. It's like you're talking to no one on here when literally you're on the internet and accessible. Like, I don't talk about that. So I'm feeling a little vulnerable right now.
Well, the thing that I can't get around, Mandy, is why you're not in law school. I mean, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. No, like I'm trying to make light of this incredibly insane story that you're telling me right now. It's wild. I
Can
can't
we
believe that.
pretend that I'm just a troll or I'm a histrionic personality disorder and I'm just looking for attention or something, please?
No.
And my name is Chelsea. I'm, from Richmond, Virginia. I literally said, where the fuck is wrong? What the fuck is wrong with me? And I'm sober as a stone. I just can't sleep. So I guess sitting at a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and go before I start talking about my childhood and all that stuff.
Okay. All right then, Mandy. Well, thanks for calling, and I hope things get better for you. I think that's a hell of a thing to survive, and I'm glad that you're still with us, and I'm glad that you're pushing forward.
All right. Thank you. And free Karen Reed and Turtle Boy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mandy. Have a good one.
Thank you for all you do. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Wow. That was I did not see that shit coming.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Yo, it's Billy Nice. What up, Guerrero? How you doing, Will?
Billy Nice?
Billy Nice, brother. I'm in the chat.
I love it. What's up?
Same old shit, brother. Free Karen Reed. What up, chat? I was calling in, Guerrero. I want to know, what are your thoughts on, like, as far as, say, like, jury tampering? We all know how the foreman was put there last time. And I'm from Massachusetts. I've had my runs-in with the, law enforcement, to say the least. How difficult would it really be for them to, slip somebody in, a couple of heads in the jury? They could say all they want, the defense, when they go to do the interview, when they're picking the jurors, they could say everything that the defense wants to hear, and then when the time comes, they could be plants, So, I mean, I don't think it'd be that difficult. What are your thoughts?
I mean, the thing is there's just no way to know just yet. I mean,
right. It's theory though, man.
We don't get to see the jury right now, and I think that at least the defense is on to what happened last trial. So
Right. That's
I
our ace.
I like to
right.
believe that they're doing what they can to prevent anything like that happening again. So,
Absolutely, brother.
but yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Well, man, you know, it's just scary, man. Like I said, I'm from Massachusetts, and I know how shit works here, and I've had my share with the run-ins and whatever. What's that? And that whole Victoria George thing, you know, she came forward for a reason. You know, she came forward. She must have seen some fuckery going on, and
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
I
you
got
know what I'm saying?
I got to speak
you
to
know,
her quite a bit while I was there,
oh,
and she's
no doubt, no.
she's brilliant. I can see why they brought her on. She is absolutely brilliant. She's
And
fantastic
right to boot, you know what?
and
You know what it is?
passionate.
She was in the
Very
dark
passionate.
as a jury. Well, that's great. You know, that's awesome that we have her. But
Yeah.
it's just the only thing that frightens me is the fact that, you know, she as a jury member in 1.0, you know, she went in there blind, didn't know shit, you know. And as she came out, probably did some of her own due diligence or what have you, and she probably noticed the fuckery like all the rest of us have, you know. So it just
She did.
she jumped on it, you know. Right,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
scares me with the whole foreman, with him being a retired police officer that was hit by a car. I mean, how the fuck did you even get on the jury in the first place?
Yeah.
As a foreman, boot, you know,
Yeah,
like how the fuck that happened?
yeah, because Bev picked him. So it's like
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's what scares the shit out of me. What's to stop them now, man? It's so easy. I mean, how difficult would it be really for them to do some bullshit like that?
I mean, who knows, man? All we can do is hope right now. You know, all we
I'm
can do
telling
is
you, man.
I think the best thing to do right now is just focus on sending positive energy to the defense to do good cross and present a good defense when the time comes for them to do that, and just keep supporting them, keep standing
That's
behind
it,
them.
man. I try to say praise. I send prayers out there every night, man. You know,
Yeah,
it just
man.
and what you're doing, man, is amazing. Dude, I can't even praise you enough, brother. What you do is you are a fucking cornerstone, brother. And thank you for everything
Oh
that you
man,
do.
that means a lot,
And I know
man.
Karen and her family appreciate it, man. Dude, I watch you all the time. My girl, I've been following this shit since like day one. My girl got me started, and at first I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, you know, they went out, they had a couple of cocktails, you know, she was fucking lit, she backed up into them, you know, probably didn't know it, drove off. And then my girl's like, no, man, you gotta check this shit out. Like, so I did some digging, and I'm like, dude, there's
That's
no
what
fucking
happened.
way.
Yeah, that's
No
how
way.
what happened with most people. That happened with me. I
Dude,
thought it
exactly
was
right.
open and shut. I was like, okay, she got drunk and she ran over her boyfriend. Okay, the question is
Right,
whether or not
right,
it was an accident. So,
right. But then what you,
because I just
right,
assumed the
sorry, go ahead.
cops did their jobs. You know, I mean,
Right, you would think, you would
he was
think.
a cop, so I figured the
You,
cops did their jobs. And
you bet
then
your ass, 'cause they always look after their own. So I
yeah,
thought,
and then someone told
unless you're not in
me,
the club.
and then someone told me about the case, and they were like, "No, I think she's innocent. You can't listen to the news. You can't read articles about it. That's not going to be enough. You have to actually look at
No
the
doubt.
statements.
No,
You have
you know
to
what
look
got
at the
me?
evidence."
I drive a Lexus. I drive a new Lexus, and what got me, brother, was
Woo,
like the whole
woo,
the poly,
woo.
woo, woo. Well, the polycarbonate, man, like that shit. I mean, my wife backs into fucking everything. So, and they never break. They never break, bro. So I mean, for soft human tissue to break that thing into 40 some odd pieces, I'm not buying it, man.
Bullshit.
There's no fucking way. If you hit him and then put him back foot into drive and hit him again and then again, and maybe 40 pieces, but dude, no way that light broke into 40 some odd pieces, dude. They used a fucking crowbar. There's
Yeah,
no way.
something. Yeah,
No way, no, dude.
yeah. There's no way
But
John's
I'm
elbow
sorry.
did that, and he didn't get even a
Yeah,
bruise.
right, and it's through 30 feet through the air after what is it? What's that spin? That fuck? What are they calling it? Trooper Paul there.
Yeah,
Paulette, whatever the hell it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. I just between that and as soon as I my girl walk dogs. I've been with large breed dogs like my entire life. And as soon as I saw his arm, like there's no way in hell. At first they were calling it road rash.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, yeah, they were
yeah.
calling that shit road rash. It's like that's
Crazy,
yeah.
fucking crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I
dude,
first
seriously.
saw those injuries and I saw that they were calling it road rash, I was like, all
That's
right,
how I got
no.
started. My girl came up to me. She's
I was like,
she's
no.
what do these look like? Yeah, right. My girl, because she knows she was a dog walker, and I've been a dog walker for, I don't do it now, but for most of my life. And she's like, what do these look like to you? I'm like, oh, these are dog bites. She's like,
Right.
you sure? I'm like, well, undoubtedly, unmistakably, fucking you bet. Those are 100% dog bites. She's like, yeah,
Clearly
well,
dog
and that's how,
bites.
Right, and that's how I was introduced to the case. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're saying that he was hit by a
That's
car and I feel like it. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I couldn't believe it. And this shit's happening in my backyard.
right.
It's right in my backyard. So, like I said, I did my digging and I was fucking floored, man. I could not believe this shit was going on. I mean, my wife's actually stood. She's afraid to get pulled over driving through Norfolk County, which she does daily. Daily. She doesn't want to stop because who knows who the fuck you're going to run in. How deep does this shit go? It's a dark underbelly, man. And how deep does it go?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the fact that this shit hasn't been thrown out, not just due to the lead investigator being a total shitbag and having black and white evidence.
There's so much. There's so
Dude,
many.
the fact that this hasn't been thrown out, dude, it tells you all you need to know
I
about the
agree.
fucking dirt that goes on in the frigging Norfolk County, man. It's horseshit.
I agree. I agree because I think there's so much grounds for this case to just be thrown out.
Dude, it's endless. The anomalies, metadata,
right,
inverted
all of it,
videos.
so much.
Dude, where do you want it to start? Where do you want it to end? It just, I don't know, man. But
Agreed.
Gorilla, I won't take any more of your time. You're the fucking berries, brother. I appreciate all that you do and for the movement, man. And I know Karen and her family must appreciate it too, man. So that being said, you have a good night. I'll fucking jump back on the chat.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks a lot, bud.
All right, brother. You do the same, man. Be good.
All right, bye-bye.
Later, homie.
All right. You heard it. I'm the fucking berries, y'all. Never been called the berries before. Guys, that's it for me. Please, guys, on your way out, make sure to hit the like. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. All the callers, you guys were fucking amazing. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Especially this late at night. It's 3 a.m. Y'all need to take your asses to bed. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sleep late tomorrow. Guys, you guys are absolutely amazing. I'm really grateful for you guys. Seriously. Thank you guys for all your support. Thank you guys for hanging out with me late. Thanks for watching the trial with me. All that good stuff. Free Karen Reed, Free Turtle Boy, Justice for John O'Keefe. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.